Talkless cartoon shows. Now when I say that, for most of you, the classics like Tom and Jerry, Pink Panther or Pingu might come into mind. But if you dive a little bit deeper, you'll find yourself on the more obscure side. Oggy and the Cockroaches. While it may not be as popular as the shows I've mentioned before, this show has been around for decades, from 1998 to 2019, spanning 269 episodes plus a movie. It revolves around a blue cat named Oggy. With occasional appearances of his cousin Jack, he tries his best to live a normal life as much as he can, till he eventually gets disturbed by three cockroaches, Joey, Dee Dee and Marky. Now these guys were straight up fiends. I don't know why they hate Oggy so much, but they made his life a living hell. From stealing food, destroying his house, constant pranks, and just ruining any type of relaxation he tried to get. Like in one episode, he tries to watch TV and the cockroaches go out of their way to steal and mess with him, presumably from boredom or pure hatred for the guy. If you've watched it, you'll know it's a talkless cartoon, relying heavily on visual storytelling. You know, that classic slapstick action, wacky sound effects, and music to drive the show. Back when I watched this series, I saw any episode from season 1 to about season 3. Whilst doing research on it, I watched the later seasons and saw, for better or for the worse, the animation has pretty much stayed the same. With slight refinements, it's pretty much identical. From the designs, colouring and movements, even the iconic opening theme has stayed the same. The only noteworthy changes is the runtime has seemed to have increased from the original 6 to 7 minute segments to about 10 to 12 minutes, as well as the characters being put in different locations and not just in Oggy's house. Despite the success of the series, the decision to keep the show looking relatively the same was really refreshing, I think. Regarding its popularity, to me it's a complete enigma. Its fanbase seems to be large but small at the same time. I know internationally, especially in Asia, Oggy is massively popular, but I feel as though it's not given as much recognition and respect it deserves when compared to a show like Tom and Jerry. Before we move on to the next show, I'll quickly talk about the movie. Released in 2013, it follows Oggy in different periods of history, starting as a caveman and ending in an intergalactic future where, interestingly, they decided to change the animation style to CGI. Like the show, the movie doesn't seem to have an overarching plotline. It's very episodic like the TV series, but just over a longer runtime. Out of the shows I'm going to talk about in this video, Oggy is probably my favourite. Oscar's Oasis. Based in a bare-bones desert, it follows a lizard named Oscar who tries his best to find food and water, or anything useful for that matter. As you could have guessed, he fails a lot. On top of having no money, no friends, no house or anything, he has his three biggest ops: the smart dumbass, the strong dumbass, and the useless dumbass. The two groups mutually steal from each other, and every episode there's some sort of chase sequence. Oscar getting his hands on something useful and then trying his best to outwit the three idiots is the backbone of the show. It does have some sort of charm to it, but I never liked it as much as the other Talkless series. I found it more of a chore to sit through, but that's just me. It only had a single season, one very long season. Airing in 2010, I think this show would have been better done as a mini-series. Oftentimes the 7-minute runtime does feel like it drags on a bit too long. Trimming it down to the average Zushi video would have done wonders for it. A quick honourable mention is Zig and Sharko. Our boy Lil Ziggy here is a starving hyena. His entire existence is plotting ways to devour Marina the mermaid, but he's constantly cock-blocked by Sharko the simp, who does eventually become Marina's boyfriend. Taking place in a deserted island with a volcano, it does have a cookie cutter formula for each episode. Zig tries to capture Marina but eventually gets stopped by Sharko. With the over-the-top creative plans Zig does, this show never feels boring. It is interesting that although Zig is the villain of the show, he is the main character. Like, he's literally trying to kill and eat this mermaid. Sharko is doing the right thing and is protecting her. As messed up as it sounds, when I was watching it, I was rooting for Zig almost. But yeah, this show knows what it is and does it well. Larva, arguably the most popular, or at least the most well known of the shows I've mentioned. Again, my little brother and sister made me aware of it, and I had this one homie who constantly spammed and tagged me in this meme for literal months. Larva is weird. My experience with watching it, it made me feel more grossed out and violated. Any episode with this nasty dung beetle just made me feel queasy. If you're waiting for me to explain the premise, I actually can't. You have to be crazy to watch it in its entirety. I want to say it's another episodic Talkless series, but I know know, unlike the rest, it actually has some semblance of a plot and a deeper lore. That, I'll be honest, I'm afraid to get into. However, I will touch the surface and explain a little piece of the godfather of brain rot. The main characters of these two larvas. This one is called Red and this one is called Yellow. Confused? Yes, I know. It's hard to remember. They're best friends, or they're not. I don't know, it changes quite often. They fart, they booger, they skibbity around. The only episodes I remember is when they fight over that pink larva. I'm pretty sure she's everyone's girlfriend. She was probably yours at one point too. And of course this guy. Ew, there's something extra disgusting about him. Okay, I was doing some more research and I saw this show has 312 episodes. What the heck is this? 4 seasons and a movie? Who the hell approved all of this?